Hello guys, this is Pokemon Legend Tips with another video, and before we move into the real deal, please subscribe to the channel, drop a like. If you have any questions you can ask us in the comments, or even better, join us in Facebook. The link is in the description below. So what we're going to be talking about today is doing a review on, let's see the Pokemons, then decide which Pokemon we're going to be doing a review on. Let's do Genesect. Okay, so Genesect, a bug steel type Pokemon, really nice. Has a lot of plates like Arceus. I mean, if you see, he has a lot of plates. If you remove the plates, his ulti, only his ulti change. So you can see that now he has a normal type ulti. If you put, by ulti we mean Fury. So if you put, let's see, electric, then this will become electric, the skill will become electric, and he will gain like I think some he will gain, let's say, yeah, the skill power will resistance will be increased by 32%. This is of course by because of +8. If you have more, maybe +9, it will become maybe 38 or 40, probably 40 would be probably, this thing would be star. And I think, yeah, definitely this is star. Then maybe the +9 would be 36. I'm not really sure, but we will have to see later. So yeah, let's go back to our Genesect. He has a nice skills, bug and steel, most of them, and he's the bug buffer. So let's just throw it out there because many people are still confused. Yes, he is the one that buffs the bug. So let's just call them insect instead of bug. It's just gonna make my life much easier. So yeah, you can see that it has this passive which increased the P attack and special attack by 5% for insect type Pokemons. Each attack after for 5 rounds. So for 5 rounds, he's gonna increase by 5% both P attack and special attack. So that's what? That's like 25%, right? And don't forget his environment skill, which will turn the bug type Pokemon's 80% chance to deal both P attack and special attack, multiplied by a multiplier which is 30%. So he will deal both all insect type Pokemons will deal both P attack and special attack. Of course, they're gonna increase damage and whatever, blah blah blah. And of course, in 3 turns, that's for 3 turns. And but the important thing is that now look at this. He stacks attack for 5 turns, which is P attack and special attack, so that's 50%. Then there's 80% chance, which is really high, to make the other Pokemons do both P attack and special attack. So that's just a lot of damage right there. So if you have a bug type, then that's just huge damage. See, even if you don't have AOA, it's still huge damage. If you put Arceus in there as well, that's even more damage. And if you give them some other sets like Thunder set or whatever, then this team will just become broken. The only problem with these Pokemon is it's really weak to fire Pokemons, so and fly. So what you're trying to go for here is to go for burn drive. That will increase his defenses against other fire types. He will do okay against fire with this, but the problem is fire drive is not that great in terms of offenses against Pokemons out there, such as BNV and whatever. Even against fly, it's not that great. So the one that is actually really offensive is shock drive. So this is something that you should be considering. The other drives are not that good. There's water and there is chill, but these are not that great. I mean, maybe use them with specific in specific scenarios when you need them. But the plates that you really should concentrate on are either burn or electric. That's pretty much it. So let's go back to the normal thing that we were trying to do. Let's talk about the abilities. So the personality first. You want him on hasty, since he's using both special attack and P attack. So you want him to have as much P attack and special attack as he can. And because he's the buffer, again, he's the buffer of insect types. So you want him to have as much speed as possible. So if you can give him as much speed as possible, that would be just great. So why we are choosing hasty is basically because P defense is really easy to increase and it gives speed plus. That's what we want, and it doesn't change anything on P attack, on special attack. But in case you cannot get this personality, second best would be neutral. So neutral would be good. So let's see. He has a great range of abilities, like both P attack and special attack, because he's using both. What we would recommend, definitely do not put spotlight on him. Definitely, if you put spotlight, it really doesn't matter, since of course he's gonna be he's the buffer, so you really don't want him to die that quickly, and it doesn't really work that well. If you are facing a BNV, he will attract all the attacks, so he'll probably die first, and if he dies, then all the buffs goes away. So you really don't want spotlight on him. What you want on him is either increases his attacks like Line Strike or Dragon Whisper, that would be perfect, or Speed Boost. And of course, since he's a buffer, then definitely go for Speed Boost, that would just be perfect. For his second ability, there is a big debate on this. He has a good range. I mean, just look at this. He can, of course, if any opponents attack him, they will be poisoned for 3 turns. In battle, 50% to remove all debuff, which is great. I mean, this is great. When its health reach half, that is max of max HP, then he will receive 50% boost in power. This is again really great. So again, 50% of all the stacking is just immense power. And this one, when his health reaches half or less, this Pokemon receive 40% boost in power as well. So this is again really important. I'm actually really what is the difference between these two? Half or less of its max HP, this Pokemon receive 40% boost in power, and I think this is 50%. I have no clue what is the difference between these two, like literally. When its health reaches half or less its max HP, this Pokemon attack receive 40% boost in power. This Pokemon bug type attacks receive 50 boost. Okay, so that's the difference. Good that we managed to see that. So you see, this only the bug type moves will get 50%, but this all the types will get 40%. So in other words, if you choose the first one, only this will get boosted. But if you choose the second one, Berserk, then all of these will get 40%. So I think Berserk is much better than. Yeah, let's go back to the abilities. And the last one is Maxi. If you kill somebody, you get 15% boost. This is the preferred one I used. You might want to use Shed Skin as well. I'm using this because every time usually he kills someone, he has great attacks, so if he kills someone he gets 15%, and that's just a lot of damage. Okay, so you either want to go for Maxi or you want to go for Shed Skin. So those are the best ones that you want to go for. Let's move on to the breakthroughs. For breakthroughs, breakthrough everything. Yeah, you have to break through everything. Max out his speed. That's something important. Then go for P attack and HP and whatever. He should be maxed out. So that's something. Okay, let's go for accessories. You want to give him, Starty in mid game would be perfect because he's a buffer against Starty, would be perfect for him. In end game, I would like on him a Thunder set, since it will even make his his 80% go even higher. He will always make, because 80% of his ability, his passive, then again from Thunder set, the ability to have a high chance of giving or making single attacks into AoA. So this team will become all AoA basically with these setups. And yeah, if you cannot, then just use Doyon sets in mid game. That would be fine. Now let's talk about the builds. This is something important. Let's see the bonding first. So the bonding, you have Aerodactyl in Intimacy. So this is kind of hard to manage. So yeah, you're gonna have to make this guy go as high as possible in terms of intimacy, which would be really difficult to do since not everyone can manage to get this Pokemon intimacy high enough. So yeah, and he gives a P attack, which is really important for this Pokemon. So you want this guy to have as much P attack as possible, as much attack as possible, even for uh, special attack as well. So if you can make him uh, if you can make him maxed with his bondings, that would be just dandy. So let's try, let's see if we can manage to get that to 55. I don't think we will. Ooh, or we will be really close. Okay, really close. So let's see the rest. Groudon in speed, Fate. This is really nice. So you should get Groudon. That's why it was paired with him in the last event, because he's a Fate Pokemon. You have Kyogre in speed as well, but in fusion this time. So this is gonna be a little bit harder if you're not planning to build Kyogre, but still manageable. And of course Mewtwo X in intimacy with special attacks. So this one as well is a little bit harder. So he has he has only one Fate, which is Groudon in speed. So that's easy to manage. Okay, let's move now to the final thing, which is the build and the hidden skills. Okay, so you want to build him as definitely a buffer. So this is a support Pokemon, so you definitely want to build him as a buffer, but do not forget that he has high damage as well. If you looked at the skills, this one is 95 multiplied again by 2, since he does both B attack and special attack, and this one is 55 again multiplied by 2, so 95, that's like 190 in ulti. This is 110, this is it buffs, so this one is another 110. So both 110, 110, and 190, because he's using both B attack and special attack. So that's a lot of damage right there. And not only that, with the stacking, this Pokemon just become a huge damager as well, instead in addition to being a buffer. So that's why in the build we concentrate on synthesis. So make him heal really fast, power of life, force of life, absorb in terms to have more. Wait a second. Yeah, I have it. So absorb in order to have 20% more HP when he's hurt, and you can see here healing, which recover 10% in each move. So these are pretty important. So these three here are pretty important in every Pokemon that you can have. Swift as the wind to increase his speed, because he's of course a buffer. Then right now Guardian Spirit, of course this goes without saying. But right now you have the choice of either increasing his attacks or increasing his defenses. So I personally chose to increase his attacks. So I increased both his physical and his special attacks with these two Izos. But if you want a different build, which is definitely possible, you can either go for both elemental skin and iron skin, or you can again go for floral. You can add floral healing. I don't think it will help floral healing. You can add fire resist, which is really nice for this Pokemon, and probably I think, is there a flying resist? Yes, and flying resist as well. So this will help him, or you can either go full metal jacket on this guy and put high and focus energy instead of those two. Then just watch him wreck using his ulti. Why am I saying this? Because every time he kills someone with his ulti, he recovers rage instant. And okay, I'm just gonna be really hard to say this word, instantaneously. So yeah, every time he recovers, every time he uses ulti and kills someone, he recover his full rage. So that's really nice, of course. But with that build, you really have to have really high speed, and you want to have him on his electric electric because this is more like his attack mode, and fire is more like his defense mode. So you want him on electric. Okay, so this is pretty much it. I think, yeah, we covered pretty much everything on Genesect. If you have any questions, you can ask us in the comments or join us in Facebook. The link again is in the description below. Cheers, guys.